Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, NASCAR Cup Series Cookout 400 from Richmond under the lights tonight, Saturday night. I, for one, will not be watching live. I'm going out on a date with my wife. I'm going to a concert. Now, obviously, everyone likes to, a lot of people like to look at the linear TV ratings and NASCAR is dying. People do things differently in 2025 than they did 20 years ago. You don't have to sit at home in front of your TV to watch your race. I got mobile devices. I got apps. I got everything like that. I can follow the race along as well. I'm not going to, but I could. A lot of people do. I'm going to watch it on a cloud DVR later on. So I won't be part of any of the TV ratings. I never am because of the way I watch it. Because I record it on the cloud, then I watch it later. And I watch it on multiple different devices, multiple different times. So, I think it's going to be a good race. I'll definitely check in and get my NASCAR Fantasy Live points. So, we have 300 miles, 400 laps at Richmond, under the lights, 3 stages, 70, 160, 170. Fuel, 120 to 135, so that's not even going to be a thing. 9 sets of tires. Question is, now will that be enough? I know Kyle Busch was talking about practice, possibly them getting another set of tires. These are going to be the soft compound that we had last fall when we had the reds and whites. The reds are the right side, the left side's going to be even softer. Like I said on TMD yesterday, I don't know if under the lights the track is going to be warm enough to cause that much tire wear, because if we looked at the Bristol race, we had the soft tires in the spring, we had cording. We can have cording, we just can't have blowouts. We had cording. There was tire wear issues, so it made the good race. In the fall at Bristol, under the lights, same tires, different outcome. Temperature, heat, temperature of the race surface, the heat beating down on the race surface with the sun, all play a factor on these soft tires. So I'm cautiously optimistic we can have something what we had at Bristol in the spring last year, with tire wear mattering, drivers mattering, with kind of if they can make a multi-group out of Richmond like they do at some of the other tracks. And that's the biggest thing with this Gen 7 car. On the multiple group tracks, we have some great racing. So don't come to me and say the car is broken when we have good racing with this car. Does it need work? I've never said it didn't. I'd rather look at the positives and the negatives, but that's just who I am. Alright. So, with those 3 stages, in the 2 of the last 3 races, that stage 1, that 70 lap first stage, has gone caution free. 4 out of the last 6 Richmond races, that stage 2, 160 laps, has gone caution free. There has always been long green flag runs here at Richmond. And they're talking about with 9 sets of tires, because they have the qualifying cups plus 8 stickers, they can go about 45 laps on a set of tires. So that second stage at 160, they almost have to divide that in thirds. Same way with that 4th stage. So, in that first stage is probably going to be divided in half. If that is the case, and that whole second stage goes caution free like we have in the past, there are going to be 2 pit stops during that, 2 green flag rounds of pit stops during that. 4 of the last 6 Richmond races have had 2 130 lap or more green flag runs. Everyone's had at least 150, I think one was like 137, so everything else is over 150. So yeah, long green flag runs is what happens at Richmond. So if you get a 130, 140 lap green flag run, you have 2 pit cycles involved in that. So yeah, we could get strung out, we could get a lot of green flag laps, we could have some tire wear. We'll see what it all comes out to be. I know everyone likes to just, Jeff Gluck's poll says it was a bad race. No, it says good or bad. He has 2 questions. Now, what I see happening depends on the winner, and people go great or bad, great or trash is the 2 levels that people look at. If it was a great race, I'm voting good. If it was a trash race, I'm voting bad. There is no middle ground. It could be a good race, but it wasn't great, so I'm voting no. Or, I don't like this car, I'm voting no. I don't like the class, I'm voting no matter what. People have said this. So, anyway, topic at hand. That's a whole different video. Alright, in similar tracks to Richmond, we're talking about like the races like New Hampshire and Phoenix and Iowa. Bristol is a high bank concrete. It's a little different than Richmond. Martinsville has the concrete corners. Yes, it's a short track, but it's shorter and it doesn't race like that. It races more like a short track than Richmond does. So I went to a website and it had kind of similar tracks from NASCAR, and it mentioned Richmond, New Hampshire, Phoenix, and Iowa. We know Iowa looks like it, but races different. We'll look at that one as well. So of these 4 tracks, 18 races in the Gen 7 car. Christopher Bell average finish 10.05, 4 wins. Denny Hamlin 10.61 and 2 wins. William Byron 11.05 and 2 wins. Ryan Blaney 11.22 and a win. Kyle Larson 11.27 and a win. I love how close this is. Josh Berry 11.44. These are average finishes over 18 races. Chase Elliott 11.68. Ross Chastain 11.83 and a win. Joey Logano 11.88 and 2 wins. Chris Buescher 12.22 and a win. Now, if you look at just Richmond and Iowa, yes, if you take a 30,000 view Google look down at Richmond and Iowa, they look the same. They do not race the same. Drivers talked about this. But if we look at just because they look the same, average finish, those 2 tracks combined. Christopher Bell 8.12. Joey Logano 8.75. Chase Elliott 9.08. Denny Hamlin 9.75 and 2 wins. Brad Keselowski 10.12. William Byron 10.25. Carson Hocevar 11.25. Ryan Blaney 11.5 and a win. Josh Berry 12.4. Ross Chastain 13.25. Now, let's look at just Richmond Raceway. 6 races in the Gen 7 car. And I only use stats in the Gen 7 car because I think stats beyond that in the Gen 6 car are going to be different. But I think that gives you, the track is the same, the car is the same. Yes, they've made some changes to the car. Yes, the tires are different. But at least we have two variables this way versus just going, well, if you look at the Gen 5 car, the Gen 6, the Gen 7, the only variable is the track. We need more variables than that if you're going to kind of look and see how history is going to play out. So in those 6 races with the Gen 7 car at Richmond, Denny Hamlin average finish 5.0, 2 wins. Seabell 7.33, Kyle Larson 8.6 and a win. Joey Logano 9.16, Chase Elliott 9.2, Kyle Busch 11.17, Brad Keselowski 11.33, Carson Hocevar 11.5, Chris Buescher 12.66. Now I even took a more of a smaller sample size. I went the last 3 races because we know over the last couple years changes have happened, tires have happened, things have changed. In the last 3 Richmond races, Denny Hamlin 1.66 average finish at Richmond with a win. We can argue he should have had 2 wins. He got punted last year. Yeah, but you know what I see online and what I hear through NASCAR radio is callers want that old Bristol back. They want that rootin' and gouging, that single line where the only way you're passing, you got to move the guy in front of you. But when we get somebody racing like Austin Dillon did last year, people lose their mind. Now, my opinion on that, he shouldn't. No. If you move 1 for a win, all right, cool. You know, we've seen it over the history. Do I like someone getting dumped? No. Bump and run? Yeah, I'm all for it. If he would have got 1 and still went on win the race, it is what it is. You know, no big deal. He did 2. I even said that it crossed the line. So Denny Hamlin has 1 win. Joey Logano 8.33, average finish in those 3 races. Chase Elliott 9.0, Chris Buescher 9.33 with a win. Kyle Larson 9.66, Tyler Reddick 9.66, Bubba Wallace 9.66, Brad Keselowski 10.0, and Seabell 10.66. Now, average running position. So finish is way different than running position. For the 6 races in the Gen 6 car or Gen 7 car at Richmond, average running position. Denny Hamlin 6.12. Joe Logano 7.68, Kyle Larson 8.85, Chase Elliott 9.93, William Byron 10.27, Steve Bell 10.49, Ross Chastain 11.59, Bryce Keselowski 12.07, and Bubba Wallace 12.61. And no, I'm not just adding Bubba to that just to add Bubba to that. I literally felt it within those top 10 what I typically look at. So I don't just add people just, oh, I like this driver, I'm put this driver. No, whatever the stats are. I don't like Ryan Preece, I don't like Kyle Larson. Obviously, I say the name every week, or Kyle Larson's name every week, because he typically runs well on a lot of these tracks. 2 races left in the playoffs. I know there's been a big playoff debate. There's even a new one because of last night with Corey Heim winning the truck race. Has a 191-point lead, and that's all gone because of the playoffs. And I love going back and looking at history of the sport. There is not an example of anything that anybody can come up with today with being against the playoffs that I can't find a similar example in the past. He had a 191-point lead, and he got wiped out because of the playoffs. That's not fair. 1992, Davey Allison had a 164-point lead with 7 races left. Or sorry, here's 100. There was 130 over second, 164 over Quickie, who ended up winning the championship. The best driver didn't win the championship. They bring up Harvick 2020. Well, then I bring up Rusty Wallace 1994, 1993, Davey Allison 1992. They talk about the best average finish. We're talking about the crap average finish that Logano had last year. There's examples of that in the past as well. Similar. Again, not exact, but similar, within the same ballpark. If you're saying that whatever his average finish was, where he ranked, he's like 10, 12, 14, 16, whatever it was. So I can find somebody, a champion that wasn't in the top 5. That kind of thing. So it's like, come on, people. Whatever. Anyway, playoffs. We do have them. I do like them. Can there be changes? Yes, there can be changes. We all got ideas of what could be changes. I got a couple big ones I think would work. And I'm going to do a video about that here before the year's over with. Probably last weekend of the year. Alright, 2 races left. Regular season title, 15 bonus points on the line, which is equivalent to 3 wins. William Byron's got a 42-point lead over Chase Elliott. Okay. He can technically wrap that up here. He needs at least a 61-point lead leaving Richmond to wrap up their regular season title. By the way, that's 1 race, and if he does that, that means he would have won the championship in 1 race. William Byron with 2 wins, Chase Elliott with a win. Not the drivers with the best season, just saying. Denny Hamlin 4 wins, Steve Bell with 3 wins, Larson with 3 wins, Bellini with a win. Right now we have Chase Briscoe with a win locked in, Bubba Wallace with a win locked in, Joey Logano, Ross Chastain, Austin Cindric, Josh Berry, and then 4 wins by Shane Van Gisbergen. In that top 10, the winner gets 15 bonus points for regular season title, 10 for second, 8 for third, 7 for fourth. Typically, for the most part, 5th through 9th is kind of not that close. So you won't see a lot of movement there. Bubba Wallace is 8 points behind Chris Buescher for that 10th spot. So Chris could point his way in and get 1 bonus point for it, and the ones that won below that wouldn't. So we have Tyler Reddick plus 117. We have Alex Bowman plus 60. Chris Buescher plus 34. Now, with 2 races left, if we have 2 unique winners that are not Tyler Reddick, Alex Bowman, and Chris Buescher, that changes that cut line. So we could get down to where that cut line is Reddick and Bowman. Because if you think about it, if let's just say Kyle Busch wins this race, now Buescher is out, and then Bowman's on the bubble, and then Reddick is the. And then if we have a unique winner at Daytona, Bowman, unless it's Bowman or was it Bowman or Reddick, Bowman is out and Reddick is on the cut line. Now, right now there is a 57-point difference between Reddick and Bowman, so you have a little gap right there. So if you can technically, if we have a unique winner here, Bowman has to win at Daytona to make the playoffs. So yeah, the whole thing could really change this week and next week. We could have 1 person get in on points, or we could have 3 people get in on points. Depends on how many unique winners we have the next 2 weeks. Obviously, the rest of the ones that are playoff eligible if they win: Ty Gibbs, A.J. Allmendinger, Brett Keselowski, Carson Hocevar, Eric Jones, Michael McDowell, John Hunter, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Zane Smith, Austin Dillon, Daniel Suarez, Justin Haley, Todd Gilliland, Ty Dillon, Noah Gragson, Cole Custer, Riley Herbst, Cody Ware. But yeah, so NASCAR Fantasy Live side: Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell, William Byron, Joey Logano, Chase Elliott. I got brackets left in the garage. Now, I thought about playing Buescher, and I don't have any starts left for Kyle Larson. On the head-to-heads, Hamlin over Larson. I'm picking that one. I'm picking Bell over Byron. I'm picking Chris Buescher over Josh Berry. I'm picking Joey Logano over Chase Elliott. The 4 picks to win the Cookout 400 at Richmond: Denny Hamlin, C. Bell, William Byron, and Joey Logano. That is the Cookout 400 preview. Definitely a lot of things going on in the NASCAR universe right now. Talk about playoffs, hating playoffs, like playoffs, that's fine. Yes, I give accurate examples. I don't just say, well, 80% of the fan base hates playoffs, which somebody did last night. And I came back with, show me a poll that says 1.6 million people hate the playoffs. And I'm basing NASCAR fan base off 2 million. Again, we know some races get more, some races get less. But I'm based off 2 million. So 80% is 1.6 million. And he brings up all these X polls. Dude, really? 30,000 people took Jeff Gluck's X poll. 53% of 30,000 said full season points. That's 0.175% of the fan base. Yeah. Do they need to take a poll of the entire fan base to see if... No, they don't. Playoffs are here to stay, regardless. I don't see us ever going back to a full 36 races. Yeah, I don't want it. I know a lot of people think they want it. Corey Haim just won the regular season title in the Truck Series by 191 points. That's 3 races. So, in a 36 race season, you want, with 3 races left. So, in the Cup Series, 3 races left. That would be the middle of so 3 races. So, Phoenix. Yeah, I ain't got to even look at the schedule to see what the last 3 races is. Yeah, I'm not even going to pull the schedule here real quick and see what the actual schedule is. I'm curious now to where that would be. And no, it's not every year that stuff like that happens. It's unique. It's just like every year. It's not every year that the playoffs are going to be the greatest thing ever. No one's ever said that. So if technically, if the Cup Series landed this year without a playoff, like the Truck Series did, we would be crowning the champion at Las Vegas, with Talladega, Martinsville, and Phoenix left. Y'all would lose your mind if that truly happened. But anyway, again, topic for another day. We're going to do a whole video about that in the regular season. A lot of off-season stuff plans. That last weekend, videos galore. Going to have 104 days of off-season, 104 days of NASCAR topic videos. That's the plan. Wish me luck. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show. Don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports content.